There are many different messages on fats. So many. So what I'd like to do today, I'd like to show you the molecular structure of fats. You see, when you understand the molecular structure of fats, then you begin to understand how the body uses it. You begin to understand why the body uses it in that way. So you will never again be swayed by popular opinion on should we eat fats, what are the best fats, what are the bad fats. I'm going to begin by showing you the omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3 is a fat that we hear a lot of, and the reason for that is that it's an essential fatty acid. You might often see it written like this, EFA, essential fatty acid. What essential means is that the body cannot make it, you have to put it in. Whenever you read the word essential, that's what it means. And what are we told is the highest source of omega-3? Fish. And yet no creature can put omega-3 into their fatty acid chain, only plants can. So why are fish so high? Because fish are eating a one-celled algae that is high. So you can do superior to fish oil. You can get your omega-3 by foods, by plant foods. Flaxseed is the highest source of omega-3. Flaxseed and linseed are basically the same thing. Chia seed is the second highest source of omega-3. What I'd like to show you now is why it is so important in the body. Omega-3 is an 18-chain fatty acid. This is the molecular structure of omega-3. There are 19 trillion of these in one drop of oil, so that's the magnification that we're looking at. Notice that there are hydrogen atoms either side, and right in the middle they are linked together by carbon atoms. What the three means that at the third carbon atom there's a double bond. So let's count this. 1, 2, 3. The double bond means that instead of one link, there are two links. And whenever you get a double bond, these hydrogen atoms go, and the hydrogen atoms underneath develop an electromagnetic field between them. As a result, they start to repel each other, and that causes a kink in the chain because of this repelling action. In omega-3, or the omega-3 found in flaxseed and linseed, there are 3 double bonds. So 1, 2, 3, we've got another one there, 1, 2, 3, and we have another one there. So these double bonds are gone. These hydrogen atoms are gone, and the electromagnetic field is happening underneath. This causes 3 kinks in the chain. Number 2 kink, number 3 kink, causing the oil to be a very fluid oil. It's a very thin oil because of its 3 double bonds. What do they paint cricket bats with? With linseed oil, because it disperses so easily. So when you eat this oil, it causes the blood to thin. It disperses on the skin. It's a lovely oil to take via mouth, so you get nice supple skin. The body loves using this omega-3 for cell membrane function and repair. So the name given to this oil is a polyunsaturated fatty acid. Poly meaning more than one double bond. Unsaturated because there are 3 empty spots on the fatty acid chain. Let's have a look at the effect of the double bonds in the body. They create an electromagnetic field. That's important for us because we are electrical people. There's a spark of electricity in every cell of the body. And specifically, our electrical system is our nervous system. So it's a great brain food. Double bonds are also light sensitive. That means the light is attracted into these empty spots. Those empty spots are also heat sensitive. The heat is attracted in. And they also act like a magnet to oxygen. What this means is that when we eat these oils, our electromagnetic field is ensured, we absorb more light, more vitamin D, we're able to manage our heat better in our body, and we're getting more oxygen. Remember, the most vital element needed for life? Cancer cannot live in the presence of oxygen. What an amazing oil. In fact, some writers have called this a super polyunsaturated fatty acid. The body uses omega-3 for the starting point in the anti-inflammatory cascade, so it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. What about sunflower? Sunflower contains omega-6 fatty acids. It is also an 18-chain fatty acid, but the 6 indicates the position on the fatty acid chain of the first double bond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's its first double bond, and there are 2 double bonds in this fatty acid chain. Here's another one here. So we've got hydrogen atoms along here, hydrogen here, hydrogen atoms along here, and all along the bottom. And we've got 2 repelling actions here, always under the double bond. So that means we have 2 kinks in this fatty acid chain. It's not as thin an oil, but it is still quite a thin oil. This is also given the name polyunsaturated fatty acid. Poly meaning more than 1 double bond. Unsaturated because there's still empty spots on the fatty acid chain. What about olive and almond oil? They are high in omega-9. 9 indicating the position on the fatty acid chain of the first double bond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's our double bond there. And there is only 1 double bond in olive oil and almond oil. So you've got your hydrogen atoms along here, and also along this area here. We've got 1 repelling action. So there's only 1 kink in olive oil, almond oil. As a result, this oil is called a monounsaturated fatty acid. Mono meaning 1 double bond, unsaturated because there is still an empty spot on the fatty acid chain. What about coconut? Coconut oil, instead of being a long chain fatty acid like these 3 18-chain fatty acids, coconut contains short and medium chain fatty acids. I have drawn a 10-chain fatty acid here, which is considered a short chain fatty acid. There are no double bonds in coconut, so every spot is full. And in the cold weather, it's a solid fat. So this fat is called a saturated fat. Saturated because there are no double bonds. So what is the best oil? Well, which body function are you talking about? Because our body uses them all and it needs them all. I'll give you a simple illustration to give you an idea of this. I used to work in an operating theatre. And in the operating theatre, we had a core team. We had our surgeon, we had and we'll call our surgeon 3 double bonds. We had our assisting physician, there's 2 double bonds. We had our theatre nurse, 1 double bond. And we had our trolley boy, no double bond. Our trolley boy's name was Fred, and he was a very stocky, strong young man of about 35. He was very good at his job. He could lift the patients with ease. He was so strong. He was very good at scrubbing out infected theatres. We enjoyed Fred because he did his job well, but there was just one area where we were constantly trying to refine Fred. When it was time to take the patient into recovery, I would say to Fred, "Fred, it is time to wheel the patient in recovery." And he'd say, "Fine." And he'd start wheeling it, but he would bang the trolley against the door, he would bang it. And we were constantly saying, "Fred, gentle, gentle." And he was gentle, you know, he had a job to do and he just did it. Now, if the surgeon didn't turn up, would we put Fred on the job of surgery? No, no, no. And if Fred didn't turn up one day. Would we put the surgeon on Fred's job? No, no, no. The surgeon had beautiful hands and we don't want to hurt the hands. Can you see my illustration? In the operating theatre, every member of the team was vital, and actually we could not function if any of them were not there. And it is exactly the same with these oils in the human body. Every oil has its function. The body loves using omega-3 for cell membrane function and repair. Let me show you the omega-3 family. The omega-3 that is found in flaxseed, linseed, is called alpha-linolenic acid. Alpha-linolenic acid has 3 double bonds. And we've already seen that's quite a fluid oil. In the body, it's broken down to EPA. In the body, ALA is broken down to EPA. EPA has 5 double bonds. In the body, EPA is broken down to DHA. And DHA has 6 double bonds. So you can see how fluid these other oils are, incredibly fluid. And the body loves using DHA for cell membrane function and repair. In the fish eats ALA in the one-celled algae. In the fish, ALA is converted to EPA. In the fish, EPA is converted to DHA. And then man extracts DHA and says, this is superior because the DHA that the cell uses is already available for you. You don't have to wait for the body to convert this to this to this. But if 3 double bonds is sensitive to light, heat and oxygen, how sensitive is 6 double bonds? And I question the ability to extract the DHA and not have it exposed to light, heat and oxygen and thus destroyed. And the fish that are the highest in DHA are also the highest in mercury. And of course the DHA, being a fat, is found in the fat. And so I believe it is much safer and much easier just to get your omega-3s from the flaxseed or the chia seed. Our waterways and our seas are very polluted today, and it's difficult to get fish oil that is not contaminated. So what is the best oil? Your body uses them for different functions. Your body loves using the omega-3 for cell membrane function and repair. Omega-6 and omega-9 are used as side issues, whereas the body loves burning coconut oil as fuel. Let me show you. Let's go to the gastrointestinal tract. Here is mouth, here is your esophagus, here is stomach, here is liver, here is gallbladder, bile duct comes down, and bile duct connects with the neck of the pancreas. And here is your duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. There's pyloric sphincter. The duodenum is lined with little villi. Let me magnify the villi. Up in the middle of the villi is the lacteal. This is part of the lymphatic system. And over the villi is a blood capillary network. Do you remember I said to you the other day, anything that goes in our gastrointestinal tract is not part of you or me till it gets broken down to tiny substances, then absorbed into the blood. Let me show you now what happens with the 3 long-chain fatty acids. They come into the mouth, they are not dealt with in the mouth. They come into the stomach, they are not dealt with in the stomach. They come into the duodenum, bile from the gallbladder emulsifies it or breaks it down into tiny little particles. Then pancreatic lipase further breaks it down to glycerol and fatty acids, and then it is absorbed through the brush border around the lacteal, going straight to the through the brush border around the villi and into the lacteal. So there's your lacteal there. The lymphatic system takes it to the liver. The liver sees these 3 long-chain fatty acids and says, the surgeons have appeared. Store them, keeping them for cell membrane function and repair. This is not what happens with the coconut oil with its short and medium-chain fatty acids. It comes into the mouth, and underneath the tongue are sublingual glands that release lingual lipase. Lingual lipase is an enzyme that breaks down only short and medium chain fatty acids. So the coconut is unique in that the breakdown happens in the mouth. The breakdown having already begun, it comes into the stomach, breakdown's already happening. Comes into the duodenum, does not need bile, does not need pancreatic lipase, is taken through the lining of the gut straight into the blood. The coconut oil is the only one that gets taken through to the blood, taken to the liver, burnt as fuel. It's an amazing oil. So it is burnt as fuel immediately. No other oil is like that. So if someone wanted to eat an oil that the body burnt, what would they eat? The coconut. So this is the best weight loss oil because the body does not store it. The body burns it as fuel. Now, if someone's going to drink huge amounts of coconut oil, maybe the body will be forced to store it because so much is coming in. Whereas the body stores these long-chain fatty acids. And yet we have been told for so long, if you want to lose weight, you must stop the coconut. It's a saturated fat. Saturated fats have got a bad name, and yet they do not deserve that bad name. It can be like the farmer who got a whole lot of coconuts cheap. He gave them to his cows to fatten them up. The cows lost fat, put on muscles, started bounding around the paddocks. So if you want to lose weight, put on muscle and bound around the paddocks, what oil do you eat? The coconut. Coconut has a few fatty acids. One is lauric acid. And lauric acid is found in coconut, 48%. There's only one other food that has lauric acid. It's a strong antimicrobial fatty acid. Butter has 2%. That's the only other food that has it. Actually, breast milk has it too. They say breastfed babies are smarter because breast milk contains omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, saturated fats. It's an excellent fuel for babies, the best. Can't be equaled, actually. Coconut is also 40% antifungal. It's because of its other fatty acids as well as the lauric acid. It has caprylic acid and capri acid. It's an excellent oil. An excellent oil or cream or milk for people who have pancreatic problems or liver problems because it bypasses the need for bile and it bypasses the need for pancreatic lipase. And if you go into the supermarket and go to where they sell the baby formulas, the milk formulas, you will find in nearly every milk formula there will be either coconut oil or palm oil. And they add that to baby food because it's so easy to absorb, does not need the bile and does not need the pancreatic lipase. Dr. Bruce Fife has written several books on the wonders of the coconut oil. One's called Coconut Cures, one's called The Miracle Oil Coconut Oil, one's called Oil Pulling. His two most recent books are Stop Autism Now and Stop Alzheimer's Now. Excellent books. And they are both books on neuro degeneration and neuroinflammation. Stop Autism Now is probably more about children, whereas Stop Alzheimer's Now is more about adults and all cases of neurodegenerations. And he uses the coconut oil.